Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's John Clayton. I'm a recovering drug addict and alcoholic, and I've been clean and sober since February 21st, 2021. I'll apologize in advance because for those of you who may be following my channel that realize that, well, wait a second, did you not put out a reading yesterday? And the truth is no, I didn't get my readings done yesterday. And I'm trying not to beat myself up about it because, this is something I definitely don't want to fall behind on or um, I don't want this channel to be thrown away because I'm out of sync with what day it is, so to speak. So, if anybody has any suggestions on, because it's obvious that it's crazy to think that if I'm gonna do this every single day, that I won't potentially miss a day here or there. It's gonna happen. I'm only human, and I gotta allow myself, I guess, that understanding that I'm not, I'm far from perfect. So if anybody has any suggestions on how I should, because what I was thinking was that, like, I'm still gonna get those readings done, but obviously I can't post them on a day that's already passed, right? So I'm not sure if I should, leave them until like the end of the year, and then, create a video that either that just either goes over the ones that would have missed throughout the year, or even individual videos for the ones that I missed, or if I should just post two readings on the day on the following day. So, like for example, if I missed yesterday, should I still read yesterday's and add it on to today's? So actually, that's might not be a bad idea, because then I just gotta let you know in the beginning of the of the video that the first reading actually is part of yesterday, and then let you know as I carry on for today's. So maybe that's what we'll do. So I'll just so this first reading is from yesterday, January 25th, and added. Oh no, wait a second. No, yesterday is the 26th. January 26th. Self-centeredness was yesterday's reading. So let's do that. The spiritual part of our disease is our total self-centeredness. Basic text, page 20. What is self-centeredness? It is our belief that the world revolves around us. Our wishes, our demands, are the only ones worth consideration. Our self-centered minds believe they are capable of getting everything they want if only they would be left to their own devices. Self-centeredness assumes total self-sufficiency. we may say, oh sorry, we say that self-centeredness is the spiritual part of our disease because the self-centered mind cannot conceive of anything greater or more important than itself. But there are a spiritual solution to our spiritual melody. The 12 steps of Narcotics Anonymous. The steps lead us away from self-centeredness and toward God-centeredness. We strip away our delusion of self-sufficiency by admitting our own powerlessness and seeking the aid of our power greater than ourselves. We acknowledge the bankruptcy of our self-righteousness by admitting we've been wrong, work making the amends, and seeking knowledge of what's right from the God of our understanding. And we deflate our right, sorry, and we deflate our overwhelming sense of self-importance by seeking to serve others, not only ourselves. The self-centeredness afflicting our spirit can be treated with a spiritual solution, the 12 steps. Just for just for yesterday, my guidance and my strength comes from a higher power, not from my own self. I will practice the 12 steps to become more God-centered and less self-centered. Yeah, amen to that. That's that's one thing that's just kind of amazing to me is the fact that, well, for one, when I was in my active addiction, I couldn't see my self-centeredness. I was blinded by my blinded by my behavior and by my using and by my whole attitude and thought pattern. And today, since I try to go with God's will and not my own, you know, I find myself not being so self-centered, but when, I'm the only one that's kind of looking over my own shoulder, so, unless I have somebody pointing out that I'm still self-centered, then how do you really know? So all I can do is hope that change is relevant, or if not relevant, apparent in me when people converse with me. Is all I can hope for. Okay, so that was yesterday's reading, and again I apologize for being late on that. Okay, it's January 27th today. Learning how to live again, and that's something I'm working on every day. Is a daily ritual for me is trying to learn how to live again. Um, Learning how to live again. We learn new ways to live. We are no longer limited to our old ideas. Basic text, page 54. We may or may not have been taught right from wrong and other basics of life as children as children. No matter how the time we found recovery, most of us had only the vaguest idea of how to live. Our isolation from the rest of society and or had caused us to ignore basic human responsibilities and develop bizarre survival skills to cope with the world we lived in. Some of us didn't know how to tell the truth. Others were so frank we wounded everyone we talked to. Some of us couldn't cope with the simplest of personal problems, while others attempted solving the problems of the whole world. Some of us never got angry, even when receiving unfair treatment. Others busily lodged complaints against everyone and everything. Whatever our problem, no matter how extreme, we will have a chance in Narcotics Anonymous. To learn how to live anew, perhaps we need to learn kindness and how to care about others. Perhaps we need to accept personal responsibility, personal responsibilities. Excuse me. Or maybe we need to overcome fear and take some risks. We can be certain of one thing. Each day, simply by living life, we'll learn something new. Just for today, I know more about how to live than I did yesterday, but not as much as I know tomorrow. Today, I'll learn something new. Yeah, wow, that's so true. You know, I mean, obviously, if you're not going anywhere or doing anything, you're just sitting at home all the time, then you know it makes it a bit tougher to learn new things. But the fact that I'm doing these YouTube channels every single day, and I'm trying to, well, at least electronically or digitally put myself out there, which even in itself, is a tough situation. And don't get me wrong. I mean, I would like to, you know, converse with people on a more personal level or on a collaborative level. You know, real people. I mean, I do talk to real people online, but it's not really the same thing because the most of the people who I'm conversing with these days are Americans or people who are overseas. And I mean, I'm sure there are a couple of people who I talk to who are from Canada, but most of the people in Canada today that I talk to, or when I do talk to them, are the people who I've met in NA meetings and AA meetings. And I won't lie, I do try to let people know about my channels when I'm in the meetings and stuff, just in hopes that maybe they'll want to check it out or even become part of the community. But whether any of them are some of my subscribers already, I have no idea. I'd like to think so. So thank you for joining me today. And again, I apologize. So I will put in the thumbnail area that there's two readings for today, yesterday, and today combined together. So if nobody's told you today that they love you, well, I love you, and thank you so much for joining me today. All right, bye for now.